Great. Okay. So if you're new, my name is Keith. I'm a meditation teacher for Meditation Breaks. And we're doing these live streams every Wednesday. We've been doing it for, I think like 2 months, over 2 months now. And the goal is to kind of introduce people to meditation and hey, Kathy. Happy Meditation Wednesday. I like that. That's very lovely. Thank you. So the goal of this is to introduce people to what meditation is, how to do it, and, it's kind of like a little known fact that, meditation isn't just about relaxing. It's about investigating things. So each week we investigate something. We did anxiety 1 week. We did mindfulness another week. And so this week, we're kind of continuing what we did last week on procrastination. And today is all about ways to increase our motivation. And there's 3 that we're going to go over. I've found them to be really helpful, so hopefully you will too. And before we kind of get going, the itinerary for today is I'm going to talk for a little bit. Then we're going to do a breathing meditation to kind of settle in. Don't worry if you're new. It's very simple. I'm going to guide it. Then we're going to talk about how to increase our motivation. And then we're going to do a meditation specifically aimed at helping us put those things we're learning into practice. That way you can do this on your own. And throughout the whole thing, feel free to ask me questions. That's what the live stream's all about. So if you have questions that come up, you're not sure about, and you feel comfortable asking them, please do. And I'll do my best to get to them. So last week, just brief recap, we talked a lot about procrastination, and we kind of defined procrastination as, I know this is important. I know this thing is important, but now is not the right time to do it. Right? And then we talked a lot and we did a meditation to try to transform that definition into, I know this is important and I can't be certain that I'll have the opportunity to do this later. Right? So if you're interested in some more information on that and you weren't here last week, do check out that video. It's a really helpful meditation to kind of kickstart our battle against procrastination. And we talked about like how procrastination is really like the catalyst for our lack of motivation. And so identifying what procrastination is and beginning to learn productive and skillful ways to deal with it is like a great first step to kind of boosting our motivation. But today, hey Sherry, today we're going to look at 3 specific ways to boost our motivation, right? And really motivation is effort, right? Effort is like a purposeful energy towards a goal. Whatever the goal is, it can be big, it could be small, but if we're putting purposeful energy towards it, we're applying effort to the goal. And effort is the opposite of lack of motivation or procrastination, right? So it's like that seesaw example, right? The more we have of one, the less we have of other. So today we're gonna look at 3 ways to kind of boost our motivation, and those 3 ways are aspiration. And we'll go over all this, pacing, and joy. So those are the 3 we're going to look at. But before we get into that, I always like to start with a breathing meditation for a couple of reasons. One, there's a lot of new people, and the breathing meditation is really where we should be starting. And also, even if you're not new, it's where we should be starting, because breathing meditation relaxes our mind. And when we have a relaxed mind, we see things differently. We see things more clearly, more objectively. You've probably experienced this in your own life. It's why you give better advice than you to other people, then you take your own advice because you're not panicked, right? Your mind's not bouncing all over the place. So we're going to kind of purposefully, there's that word again, relax our mind through breathing meditation. And really what we're doing here is what's called single-pointed concentration. It means we're focusing on one thing. So we're not multitasking, even though that's good. At work, we'll get a lot of things done. Multitasking is not really great for having a very calm mind. We've probably also experienced that too. So we're going to purposefully focus on our breathing as exclusively as possible, right? And then when we notice that our attention is not on our breath anymore, we're just going to bring it back, right? Very gently bring it back. And this process is meditation. We are training our mind to focus on one thing. And something really cool happens when we begin to focus on one thing. Other things kind of fade away, right? If you've ever been in the zone at work, right? Or on a run, a lot of people experience this when they're running, right? The sounds and distractions, they're just not there, or they're a lot less pronounced. So this is the power of concentration. And it's why breathing meditation in and of itself, without any other type of meditation, is like a phenomenal practice to take up, right? So let's do it. Let's do that, okay? So just follow along with what I'm saying. Wherever you are is fine. It doesn't matter if you're laying down or standing. I mean, power to you if you're standing. Sitting's fine, whatever. Doesn't matter. It's like this is a cool thing about meditation is like you don't need to do anything different. You're good. Wherever you are is good, okay? So we're just going to sit comfortably, lay comfortably, let our hands relax into our lap, and we're going to close our eyes. And when we start any meditation, it's good to check in with ourselves, to see how we are feeling in this moment. This is an exercise in mindfulness. Checking in with ourselves, understanding how we're feeling moment to moment. So how are you feeling? Are you tired? Are you energetic? How are you doing mentally? Are you anxious? Happy? Whatever it is, just notice it. You're training yourself to check in with your own mind. And having checked in with ourselves, we can now turn our attention, our full attention, to our breathing. We breathe gently in through our nose and gently out through our nose. Very natural. We don't need to take deep breaths. Very natural. And we can begin to notice the sensations of breathing. We can make note of how breathing feels in this moment. The cool air on the tips of our nostrils as we breathe in, and the warm air leaving our nostrils as we breathe out. See if you can follow your full in-breath and your full out-breath. And at some point, you may notice that your attention is no longer on your breathing. Perhaps it's drifted off to what you're going to do later, something that's happened earlier. That's okay. When you notice that your mind is no longer focusing on your breath, just gently guide it back. Like we're hiking on a trail and we've kind of veered off a little bit. Just gently get back on the trail. Get back to focusing on your full breath in and your full breath out. Keep bringing your attention back to your breathing as many times as necessary. This is meditation. You are meditating. How wonderful is that? You are training your mind to relax. Just enjoy sitting here and enjoy breathing in and enjoy breathing out for the next 30 seconds. Really good. Okay, when you're ready, you can open your eyes and relax. No fire alarm. That was good. No smoke alarm. So how'd that go? Was that anyone's first time meditating? I know there's a couple new people. That's a very basic breathing meditation. There's other ones that we've done, and we'll do them again because this is a practice. We got to keep working at it. There's different types of breathing meditation that some people connect with more than others. That's a good that's just like a blanket, very basic one. But even if you found yourself feeling like 0.001% more relaxed at some point during that, that's actually a really powerful realization, right? Like you relaxed yourself a little bit, but you relaxed yourself with nothing but your own mind, right? And that's what meditation is all about. It's about training our mind, understanding that we are very capable of being calm, handling our problems in a really skillful way, just by training our own mind with nothing other than just focusing on our breath, right? Okay. If you have any questions about breathing meditation specifically, feel free to chat now, or you can even email me if you're not comfortable doing this, Keith@meditationbreaks. But we're going to get into now how to boost our motivation. Okay. This is a very personal topic for me because I long struggle with being motivated. We all do. That's what's kind of cool about a lot of the things we look at. They're very common problems. We all experience them. We all experience procrastination, and we all experience lack of motivation, right? So the first thing we're going to look at for motivation is aspiration. And oftentimes aspiration is confused with inspiration, for obvious reasons, very closely related, and also they sound similar. Inspiration is like if we see something like, wow, that's awesome, right? We're inspired by what we saw or what we heard, right? What we felt. Aspiration is a wish to engage in something meaningful, right? So if we're inspired by something, and then we have a firm determination, a firm wish to do that, that is aspiration, right? And aspiration is the launch pad for motivation. We need to have aspiration. It's sort of like a little bit of a reminder for us. Whenever we kind of veer off the path, like we were talking about in the meditation, we remember our aspiration. And we'll look at a little more like how we can do that. But maybe you don't have a firm aspiration right now, and that's fine. Really, to find an aspiration, we need mindfulness. Mindfulness is being aware of our mind moment to moment. We talked a little bit about that too. And basically, it's a technique. Mindfulness is a technique to recognize how we're feeling, to recognize how things are impacting us. And we can use it to notice our feelings, our emotions more intentionally, and notice what is moving our mind, right? What moves your mind? What do I mean by that? What makes you feel feelings like what makes you feel super happy or proud, or like being able to be aware of these things is the first step in finding aspiration, right? And to do that, we need to be monitoring our mind to see how we're feeling. If we're not paying attention, well, we're going to miss the moment. So training in mindfulness is really good for finding aspiration. And aspiration is not something you can be like, I'm going to find aspiration. Like, it'll happen, but you'll notice it if you're trained, if you're better prepared to notice how your emotions are moment to moment. Does that make sense? I hope so. So when we have aspiration, we often, some of us have, like, we know exactly what we want to do. We want to write a book. We want to, I don't know, be a race car driver, like whatever it is. Like, we have our aspiration, but then we fluctuate, right? And the way we can maintain this powerful aspiration, this powerful launch pad to our motivation to reach our goals, is to contemplate the benefits of engaging in this activity, to contemplate the benefits of our aspiration, right? So maybe our aspiration is to write a novel or write a book. We need to remind ourselves constantly why we're doing this. Maybe we want to inspire other people. Maybe we want to bring joy to other people through our stories. Like, even just thinking about that, we are associating our mind with the positive aspects of our aspiration. And so to maintain the aspiration, we have to check in with ourselves sometimes and remind ourselves. This is also mindfulness. Mindfulness is also remembering the things that we've learned by investigating our own mind, right? And it doesn't have to be something huge like writing a book. It could be like doing laundry, right? It's like, if I do laundry, then I will have clean clothes. That's the benefit, So we have to remind ourselves the benefits of our aspiration. Does that make sense so far? Let me know before I move on to pacing. I love bubbly. It's my favorite seltzer. Okay. No questions. Yep, makes sense. Great. Okay. So, aspiration. Hey, Mike, aspiration can be kind of exciting, right? Like, sometimes if we get like inspired something and then we have this wish to do it, the temptation is to like go at it, like full force, 110%, redline the car, right? And do this thing, right? And a lot of times this can actually be detrimental to us. We can burn ourselves out by committing too much energy too quickly to the thing we want to do, right? So it's the analogy I like to use is a waterfall versus a river. Like, a waterfall is a massive burst of energy, right? Sometimes it's extremely powerful, and then it's splashing all over the place. It's like the force is there, right? But a river may not be as powerful, but it's flowing real consistently, right? It's like wide and gentle, but always flowing. We want to be like a river, okay? We want to be like a river. Oh my, that's me. It's all of us. And the interesting thing is, like, some of us don't really identify with being a waterfall, right? We're like, I'm more of like a pond where I don't really do anything towards it. But like, we think we should be the waterfall, right? And so we get kind of discouraged that we have to be like a waterfall, but we don't have to be like a waterfall. We have to be like a river. We have to be like a gentle moving river. Because, sometimes we'll think, well, if I was a real writer, I would write all the time. Why am I not putting in more effort, right? But really, we don't have to write all the time. We don't have to constantly be doing the thing for our aspiration if we're applying consistent effort, right? It doesn't have to be massive as long as it's consistent. Another good analogy is like if we're cooking, right? Let's say you had two pots on a stove and they're both cooking something, right? One's on high and one's on low, right? The one on high, it might cook faster, but the one on low is also going to cook. Eventually, they're all going to cook. Eventually, no matter what kind of river we are, if we're a fast-moving one or if we're barely moving, we're going to get to where we want to go with our aspiration, with our goal, if we apply consistent effort. Okay? So we need to kind of recognize this and accept. We talked about acceptance a couple weeks ago. We need to accept whatever speed river we are, okay? Because we're all different. I'm a slow river. What kind of river are you? So like we have to be okay with our speed, knowing that if we just continue doing it, we will get there. Important not to be discouraged by trying to be the waterfall. This is called steadfastness. And it's really important for motivation because it prevents discouragement. Sometimes we get discouraged if we get burnt out. We'll give up. We don't want to give up. Like if the pot example, like if you had this thing on super high, but took it off every like 10 seconds, that's not going to cook, right? So it's better to leave it consistent. What a great word, steadfastness. Yeah. So that's actually what we're gonna do a meditation on steadfastness in a little bit. But I just want to talk more about the third thing, joy, which is like pretty much the secret ingredient here. Are we good on pacing? Are we good on steadfastness? Are we ready to be the river? I hope so. So next up is joy. Joy, the power of joy is that it produces natural effort. It is a natural motivation. And by natural, I mean, we don't have to really try that hard to do it. Thank you for allowing me to meander versus gushing. Meander allows me to enjoy my aspiration versus being exhausted. Yes, that's exactly it. We want to just cruise. We want to cruise consistently on the river. Exactly. So the joy produces natural effort, right? So I have confessed my love of video games before here, right? I enjoy video games very much. I find joy in playing them. And so, to no one's surprise, I find it quite easy to find time to play video games. And I've stayed up all night. I've woke up very early. Like, it doesn't take me much effort to play video games. Laundry, on the other hand, I have yet to find the true joy in, right? And so I put it off. I procrastinate until I have no clothes and I'm like forced to do it, right? So when we are bringing joy to an activity, to our goal, the effort comes naturally. It's one of the benefits of joy. And we begin to make quick progress, kind of effortless progress, right? But we might think to ourselves like, okay, so that's great for video games, like they're like super fun, but like how can I force myself to bring joy to an activity that I don't enjoy, right? And the kind of cool thing about this is you don't have to. So when we're talking about joy, we're really talking about bringing a joyous mind, like a peaceful, calm mind, a calm mood to the activity, right? So normally we identify activities with being good or bad or fun or not fun, but really it's our mind that is making it fun. Like if we have a happy mind, we'll have a pretty decent time doing the thing. If we're, miserable and our mind is like all over the place, well, we're not going to enjoy even video games, right? There's been plenty of times that I've not enjoyed it because I'm like, really upset about something. So we don't have to necessarily be like bursting with joy of the thing that we're doing, right? Our goal all the time. If we're concentrating on bringing a peaceful mind to it, and I'll explain a little more what that means, right? But the important part of doing this is that if we bring a positive mind, a peaceful mind to the activity, we start to identify the activity as being positive or being okay, right? If we are bringing an angry, I don't want to do this mind to the activity all the time, well, then we're going to start to make a negative association with the activity and we're not going to want to do it. We're going to become disinterested in doing it. And then we're going to become discouraged that we're disinterested, and then we're going to give up, and we don't want to give up. So this kind of really boils down to doing what we just did, breathing meditation, right? We're going to work on building a pretty consistent breathing meditation practice. Whatever you can do, it's 30 seconds, a minute in the morning, it's fine. Over time, you're going to notice this is going to give you a more peaceful mind, just naturally. And, maybe you're going to do something that you might not be super excited about. Do you have a minute to maybe do a breathing meditation before? See if it helps. Trust me, you'll notice that the calmer you are, the less unenjoyable that activity might be, right? If you don't enjoy it. If you enjoy the thing you're going after, like amazing, that's an incredible thing. But it's not always like that. Sometimes we don't like to do work or whatever. So this is a good way of still being able to bring good effort to something that we might not have a natural enjoyment towards. And we can use the kind of idea of a child at play as a good analogy for this, right? If you see a child at play, they are completely plugged in to the thing that they're playing with, right? Like it could be a block of wood, okay? A block of wood with nothing on it. And it's like, oh my God, look at this block of wood. This is incredible. And somebody will say something. They're not looking over. They're completely single-pointedly focused on the block of wood, so much so that the distractions aren't there. And what they're finding is that the block of wood is actually kind of interesting. We as adults, we lose some of that. We look at the child and we're like, they don't know any better. It's a block of wood. Who cares? But a block of wood is actually quite interesting if we are focused on the block of wood. And that is meditation. That is why we are training in meditation, to kind of realize the beauty and the interest and the joy in all things if we give it proper attention. Does that make sense? I always ask if it makes sense, but then there's like a 10-second delay. So then I'm like, I don't know if it makes sense. I wasn't saying anything. I always forget. So then I have to like do filler like this, waiting. But I really like the child at play. I'm going to do an entire class on like child at play analogy. There's a lot we can learn from kids. We lose some of that as we get older. We gain a lot, but we do lose some of it too. Do lose some good things. So before we do our meditation on steadfastness, I'm going to try to incorporate a bunch of these into the meditation, but it'll be mainly on steadfastness, on pacing. You have homework tonight. Yes, I think that's the problem with trying to motivate kids at school. I mean, absolutely. But it's also the problem with trying to motivate adults in the workplace or adults at home. Like, we're all super distracted. We are really never totally plugged into what we're doing because our mind is very used to wandering. So that's why we're training. Yeah. So you have homework. Okay. This is a fun little activity you can do. You don't have to do it if you don't want to, but I'm just going to say it. This is a in-world practice of bringing joy to something that we find maybe mundane or neutral. So your homework is to pick something, an activity like brushing your teeth, something that's neutral, washing your hair, washing your hands, whatever. It doesn't matter. Pick a neutral task. So something that doesn't excite you or something that doesn't, upset you. If you are like super excited by brushing your teeth, do not pick that. Okay. If you're super upset about washing your hands, do not pick that. But find something that's neutral to you. And when you do it this week, let's use the brushing your teeth. That's what I do. Really make a promise to yourself. I am going to focus on brushing my teeth and only brushing my teeth. Sort of like we did when we were focusing on our breath and bringing our attention back to our breath. We want to focus on brushing our teeth and bring our attention back to brushing our teeth when our mind drifts off, right? Do that and just observe how brushing your teeth feels. Does it feel different? Are you noticing things you didn't notice before? Maybe the way the bristles feel in your teeth, the sound that they make. Do they make a specific sound? Are you like really connecting with like the sound of brushing your teeth? This is a really cool exercise, and you can do it with anything. Eating is a good one. Though some of us really love eating, so maybe we don't want to do that. But the idea is to see how, like when you're a child at play with a block, how just kind of pinpointing your focus on an activity can change the way you look at the activity in terms of enjoyment. Try it. It's kind of fun. At least I think so. It has made me enjoy brushing my teeth most of the time. Okay, so we're gonna do our second meditation for the evening. All right, and whereas the first one was mainly for breathing meditation, mainly for relaxing. This one, we're going to do a little breathing meditation, but then we're going to do the next step of meditation, right? And that step is investigating, using our calm mind to investigate something, right? In this case, we're going to investigate the importance of steadfastness, of pacing ourselves with our goal, with the thing that we're striving for. But we can investigate anything. And this is sort of like, meditation without this is sort of like we're boiling the water, and then we're not putting anything in it. Like, boiling water is great. Like, that's awesome. Good job. But like, let's do the extra thing. Let's use our calm mind to investigate something with clarity is really what we're doing. This is called contemplation. Jason, this is so tough. I've tried brushing my teeth and it's hard. It's hard. It's hard because we're not familiar with it. We're not familiar with focusing on one thing. We are very familiar with focusing on 30 things at once, but we are not familiar with focusing on one thing. This is why breathing meditation is, a little challenging at first. And it's why doing this activity of focusing on, brushing your teeth or anything is challenging, but it just takes practice. We can do it. We have the ability to do it, right? Which is kind of what we were talking about last week. Like, we have this great opportunity to train our mind. Like, we got to take advantage of it. So keep at it. Try something else. Okay, let's do the meditation. Cool. Any other questions before we start? We can also do some questions after. The autopilot is strong with this one. I know the feeling, man. I know the feeling. Trust me. Okay, so let's sit again comfortably or lay, wherever you are is cool, just like before. And we're going to close our eyes again. And we'll just quickly check in with ourselves. We're going to train in mindfulness here. How are you feeling? Are you feeling stimulated by the conversation? Maybe not. Are you calmer? More worried? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. Just notice it. Just practice noticing what your mind is doing. This helps with our aspiration, our wish to achieve whatever goals we have. And so now we can turn our attention to our breathing once again. This time with the goal of bringing some joy into our investigation into the importance of pacing ourselves with our goals. So our aspiration for right now is to bring a joyful mind to our investigation. And we can just focus on our breath just for a little while. We can focus once again on the cool air as we breathe in and the warm air as we breathe out. Stay with your breathing for the full inhalation and the full exhalation. And if your mind drifts off, just gently guide it back. Gently guide it back to focusing on your breathing, to enjoying your full breath in and your full breath out. Be like a child at play. Keep bringing your attention back to your breathing, to your breath. How does breathing feel? And if at any point during this you're finding yourself feeling a little more relaxed, even just a little bit, just notice that. Kind of abide in that feeling. You have relaxed your mind all on your own, independent of any external conditions. You are a meditator. And with our mind being a little more open, a little more relaxed, we can investigate something very important with a new sense of clarity. We can investigate the importance of pacing ourselves. When we have a goal, when we have an aspiration, it can feel as if we need to be like a waterfall, exerting massive amounts of energy and effort to our goal. While this can produce some results, it often results in us burning out, becoming disinterested with our goal. It is far more productive to be like a river, flowing gently, a wide flowing river. Maybe you're a fast moving river. Maybe you're a medium moving river. Maybe your river is only flowing very slowly. In each of those examples, the water will get to where it needs to go eventually. You will accomplish your task. Whatever type of river you are is perfect. It is far more important to apply consistent effort than massive effort. Just imagine yourself right now. Just imagine yourself as a river flowing gently in one direction consistently. Just bring that image to mind. A river's motion is firm. Our determination must be firm. So the next time you are thinking about your goal, whatever it is, just remind yourself that you need to be like a river, because that is what is going to get you to your goal. Consistent effort. Just sit with that for the next 10 seconds or so. Okay, you can open up your eyes and relax. All right, so that was a breathing meditation dovetailed into a short contemplation about pacing ourselves. And really, you might notice that we said a lot of the same things as that we talked about. Well, really, that's what we're doing. We're basically going over that logical reasoning again, but having a very relaxed mind, and it sinks in more. We're like sitting with it. We're feeling it. It's not purely intellectual. It's experiential. We're experiencing those words, experiencing the truth behind them, really. So that's contemplation. And slowly our mind will become more familiar with that, right? Believe it more and more, and it will become natural for us to think that way, right? That's how we can overcome anxiety. That's how we can become a nicer person, all those things, just by familiarizing ourselves with the benefits of doing so. Okay, cool. So just to sum up, a good thing to practice with all of this that we did is like each morning, pretend you're putting on some armor, all right? You're putting on your morning armor, all right? And this armor is a firm decision to apply these 3 things that we talked about to the best of your ability on that day, right? So for aspiration, we're going to contemplate the benefits. So maybe think, effort doesn't have to be physical, Okay. It can be mental, right? Thinking about the benefits of the thing you want to accomplish is effort. You are applying effort. Great job. So that helps our aspiration, pacing. Say whatever I'm able to do today is great. However fast my river is flowing is perfect. Okay. And then joy. We can do a breathing meditation. We can try to bring a relaxed mind to everything that we do, particularly our goal, the thing that we're trying to accomplish. So that's kind of like we're going to do that every morning. We're going to put on our armor. Questions about any of this or anything else? No smoke alarm. It is a success over here on Wednesday meditation. Next week, we're going to do my favorite meditation. It's my favorite. I love doing it. I love teaching it. I love practicing it. We're going to focus on really gratitude, with like a special attention to recognizing how important other people are to us, right? I'm just going to leave it there. But this is a really cool meditation, and it is like the key to happiness, man. It is the key to happiness. Okay. So come to this. Okay. Come to this one. Mike Scalza, I'm a fan of Wednesday meditation. 12 out of 10. Good heavens. Thank you, sir. That is quite a rating for me. Joan Fretz, should we also be noticing the pace we are working at when doing something we want to or need to? Yeah. Like I said, effort is both physical and mental. Okay. So, we can see, you know what? Okay. That's good. We can see the impact of being a waterfall by working too hard, right? Okay. So like if we're out, God, I'm going to do a terrible example. If we're gardening, I don't know, and we're like furiously digging holes out in the backyard or whatever. Okay. Like we're going to get exhausted and we're I can't do it anymore. Yeah. But if we dig a hole, right? Like it's an easier pace and we're going to accomplish more in the long run. Okay. So yes, you can notice how are you working? Are you working like a waterfall or like a river? Try to do it like the river. Ken Wood, meditation on video games. You can meditate on anything, right? A good one, for me. So I do this a lot with video games. Actually, next week's is a really good one. Like basically a good one for like video games or something you might think is like not really productive is like, okay, can I bring a joyous mind to this activity? Can I help somebody with this activity? So like sometimes I'm playing a game, maybe I'll help somebody in the game, like as stupid as that sounds. We're identifying an activity with like a positive outcome, helping somebody, very positive. Diana, are we able to see the previous session? Since I just joined today and I love it, thank you for coming. I'm very happy that you're here. And yes, all of our other sessions are on the YouTube channel. You can watch them whenever you want at your own pace, at a nice leisurely river-like pace. Thank you very much for coming. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Okay. So just to close, next week, we're going to do gratitude, and kindness to others. And we're going to look at like what that means for us. We get some benefits from doing that. It's not do the ones in anxiety. Yeah. Good recommendation, Mike. Those are really helpful for everyone, especially nowadays, like, so much uncertainty going on. And if you enjoyed this, thank you for coming, because I can't do this without you guys, right? Like, I can't talk to nobody. So thank you for being here, for giving me an hour of your time. And I hope you found it enjoyable. And if you did enjoy it and you would, like to come back, bring a friend next time. That'd be cool. That'd be really helpful for me. And another helpful thing is to just subscribe to the YouTube channel. It doesn't do anything other than just let YouTube know that like people are interested in me, which is helpful. And if you've been coming for a while and you're like, okay, meditation is cool, I'm into it, and you want to like take the next step, I do private lessons. And the benefit of private lessons is that I can focus entirely on you, right? Like, okay, maybe you're the slow moving river. Well, then we can focus on what it means to be the slow moving river, right? So private instruction is really quite useful. So if that's something that's interesting to you, you can email me for more information, keith@meditationbreaks.com, or go to my website. We can book sessions through there and work to find, a schedule for you that's good or something like that. I always forget to mention that I do private lessons, so I'm trying to remember it. If we want to support the channel monetarily, because we're getting a lot out of it, how do we do it? Well, first of all, I only want you to do that if you're like capable of doing that. These are designed to be very low barrier to entry. So there's no pressure to do so, but if you go through the Eventbrite invitation, there's an option to donate whatever you want. And again, please only do so if you very much want to and are able. That's what private lessons are for, if you want to take that next step. But thank you. That's very, very generous of you. And thank you for asking and for all your time and contributions thus far. Okay. So go brush your teeth. All right, guys. I'll catch you next week. See ya.